Right. I'm also have it open so I can see what's going on too.
Yeah, and of course it's the weekend. You can never be too careful.
Exactly. In other news, I am 60 away from the 1K.
I didn't remember to check that out. I was like, I have to check this. Oh, I see your notification just came in. That's a good thing. Okay. So at least that works. At least.
I'm excited about that. I'm getting closer.
Hmm. No, it's wonderful, Pandy. I'm so glad because I know how it felt to be 60 away. For me, it was like that's nothing, you know. All I needed
Yeah,
to do was to put in the time and, just have my phone close by whenever I have a breather or a second or so off. And even if I just grabbed up 30, that would be enough for me because it was like that's nothing. Sometimes
right,
you get it in, yeah, when you're like at 9:50, sometimes you get it in a week, sometimes you get it less than a week. So it just depends. It
right.
just depends. And
Yeah,
usually the thing is, uh it's always about what's happening around you. It's not so much how hard you work on YouTube. Okay, I do take into consideration what happened to you with minus 13 or whatever that time when it went back.
right.
Yes, I do take that in. Oh, hi Shemaine, sorry guys, I'm just talking. I'm sorry. Hello
Good
guys, how are
morning,
you?
everyone. Good morning and welcome, and thank you so much for coming to
Oh, Go
join.
Donnie's in the house as well. Go Donnie, welcome. Thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hi,
Yeah.
Charmaine. Hi, Godani. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're just going to be chatting with you guys on a couple of different topics. Letu and I have kind of partnered up and decided that we would share information as it pertains to YouTube land, how it relates to us as content creators. And we do that on a weekly basis and we alternate between his channel and mine. So
Hmm.
last week was the first time we did it and we went forth on the Choose channel. So today we're over here on mine. So
Yes,
thank you
that's
guys for
right.
being here. And of
And
course,
Charmaine and Go Donnie, sorry, Pandy. If you guys have anything that you would like to say pertaining the topic, just let us know now so we can take a note of that and we'll get back to that comments and questions while we are discussing what we have prepared.
absolutely. Absolutely. And Latu, if you want to go ahead and get started with your portion of the information that you want to bring, please feel free to do so.
Okay, I appreciate that, Pandy. I just saw something from GoDonny, and thank you, GoDonny, for sharing that with me. Yesterday, I was kicked off twice from my live streams, and I only got like 20 minutes in each. So I went live twice, and that happened. I thought it was my internet because it's windy, after dark, it's really windy, and I thought something might have got knocked over or blown over, whatever the case may be. However, he says that live streams were crashing yesterday, and that's no brainer because it happened to me, but I didn't know why. So it must be YouTube. Thanks for that information.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Mm-hmm. And basically, what I had in store. Um, which one would you want me to start with, Pandy?
You can go ahead with whatever you have prepared, and we can kind of go back and forth.
Okay, so the first one I would like to start with is something I already covered when I did things you need to know about live streams. It was probably 2 weeks ago. And what I came across, I was actually looking for what YouTube considered as spam.
Mm-hmm.
But what I came across was something that not everybody, especially me, would consider as spam as well. And that was pertaining to the live stream abuse. They term it as live stream abuse, which is basically taking something from one live and doing it in your own life without giving the proper recognition or acknowledgement to the content creator. So at this stage, there was nothing like an uploaded video or a pre-recorded video being considered spam. However, that also I will get into and just discuss with you guys how that can be a violation of the guidelines. And when we are talking about guidelines, of course, we are talking about community guidelines at this stage, although it also goes into copyright. But copyright is a more centered approach for the people who actually registered their content as them holding the copyright rights to the content. So let's get back to the live stream abuse, and basically why that I can say falls under live stream etiquette is because there would be no live stream without the content creator. They are the host, and sorry guys, yes, they are the host, and they will set the pace, and they will set the tune to whatever is going to happen in that live stream. So therefore live stream abuse is basically very serious because like I said, it's just a copy. It's just a copy and paste of what somebody else has already covered and done, and that actually gives the person a right to flag your live stream, which is not something I would basically go out and encourage people to do. That's not nice for anybody to receive that kind of email from YouTube that's their content has been removed because of such and such reason. Sometimes they don't say why, because they are trying to keep people's reports and stuff confidential, and that's what they're going to do. They won't send an email like in the past where they said this user and that user flagged you or had an issue with this and this was the content. No, basically all they're going to say is either it's harassment, either it's pornographic and inappropriate, or it will be something like slander, and in this case spam.
Mm.
So let me get to what Godani said. YouTube servers can't, okay, probably can take the overload. Contact 500 hours every every 60 second 500 hours, and that's because of all of the live streams I take it. And live on top of live is restricted by YouTube. It keeps people from taking lives out of context. Okay, now live on top of a live, I would say would in most people's cases would be because they were knocked off the first time. So it's not like anybody would just like to go live one live stream after the other. Why not just go live for 3 or 4 hours? You know what I'm saying? So yes, that is very interesting what you are saying, and it may be restricted, yes, but the reason why people might do that is also they need to look into it, is also because they're getting knocked off from their lives for reasons such as buffering, freezing, and stuff. You know, what are you gonna do? And Goldoni said it's not as much copyright as it is branding. If you're branding your channel with slogans and things that you say all the time, repetitive content. Okay, but can you please elaborate that for me, Goldoni? Because I've said quite a bunch of stuff.
Wow,
So, Ben,
that's pretty interesting. I was trying to also get further clarification on what it was he was saying as well.
okay.
Okay, he responded saying it's basic, stepping on your toes, taking over your live stream, and misusing your content, putting things over the top of your live stream, such as copyrighted music. Hmm. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm gonna definitely look into that as far as it being like a banned activity by
Mhm.
YouTube, because that's pretty much what we're hoping to identify here, and the basis for our conversation and discussion on it. So I definitely am thankful for GoDonnie.com adding that input to the discussion, because
Oh,
we're
yes.
all YouTubers here. At the end of the day, we're trying to establish what it is that will keep us safe, as far
Oh,
as our channels are concerned. So,
so he was talking about the live stream abuse.
I think it looks like that's what he was getting at.
Okay, okay. Um,
Okay,
I
yeah. He
yes,
said,
I would I will just get back to that one in a second
Okay.
because what I wanted to go over uh was also the ways that any content creator can acknowledge the content that they have in their streams. Mm, and let me just get back to the place where I wrote all that down because what Godoni is saying is very interesting. It also brought a question into my mind that I would like to get back to the research that I done
Good morning, Mobile Diaries. Thank you for joining.
because I am pretty sure that the way I read it, yes, I found it. Okay, the way I
Okay.
read it was not just related to it was not just related to the music in live streams. And I am trying to make sure I just back up what I'm trying to say. Misleading metadata. Okay, metadata is what he said with um the descriptions and stuff. Yes, I understand that. The descriptions, the titles, whatever.
Did you find it?
Okay, almost.
Okay.
Okay, but I think I can get back to that at a later stage. Just as long as I can keep going.
Oh, yeah,
If
definitely.
okay, so you will just let me know about the comments, Pandy, will you?
Yes, I will.
If they, okay.
While you're looking for that, I'm looking at, we had Mobile Diaries enter. He just was greeting everyone, saying hello. Godani was also elaborating, stating that it falls under the Privacy Act. They cannot tell you who did the report, and they will not tell you who did the report. It is a federal government privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mobile
Yes.
Diaries. Mobile Diaries said he's going to share it out to his community tab.
Oh wow, that's nice. I remember to do that. Thank goodness. Yes, I did.
Yes, and anyone else who may be in the chat who's currently at your 1K subscribers, and if you have a community tab, please feel free to share it out. That would be great to bring more people over into the conversation because, again, for the most part, everyone in here is a content creator, and we're simply discussing basic live stream etiquette so that we can make sure that we're being respectful one to another as a whole. And then we're also going to be going over the latest harassment policy that recently came out. So we're just having a discussion here.
Okay. And the other thing that was pertaining to live stream abuse was you taking your cell phone and streaming a show from your cell phone or just playing a recording or whatever from a TV show, a movie, whatever, and then posting that on your content like through a live. And also if you are running an album, and that's pretty obvious. I think anybody would pick up on that. Running an album from your phone or from any third party streamer and posting it because all content is supposed to be authentic and organic, and it is supposed to be yours. And something else under videos that uh, the normal kind of videos that tend to flag as spam is content that promises viewers they'll watch something but instead directs them from your site to another site. So that's against the rules, and that is something that is considered spam. And what we mean by another site is a site other than YouTube, and you are also not um, supposed to be uploading content that you were scraped from. That's the point I was trying to make. It might not be under lives; it's actually under YouTube. So I correct myself on that. So if um, another content creator uploaded something, so whether this is copyrighted or not, if
Hmm.
this content has been scraped, like basically meaning it has been removed, and you feel like, okay, this might be my friend and I want their video to stay up, you take that video and you keep it up as well,
Mm.
right? So it will still be on, but it has been scraped already. So that is also a tactic of spam. And the auto generated content from computers, which I haven't seen yet, but apparently it can be also this is all stuff that can be flagged, and you don't even have to appeal it because YouTube already classifies it as spam, so it will come down. And you promising money, products, software, or gaming perks for free if viewers install software or download an app or perform other tasks. So it comes back to that thing of basically asking something you are not allowed to ask for anything. So basically, just promote your content, but don't ask for anything and give something in return for that. So
Okay,
there
now
are.
really quick, Letu, there's a question for you, I believe. And
Mhm.
hi, Shirley Cooking Stevens, there's a question for you. We have a new visitor in the chat, East St. Louis 62203. Welcome to the
Yeah.
live stream. I haven't seen you in here before, so thank you so much for coming in. His question or her question is, so if you have an Amazon store, you can promote it, and that's in a question form.
If you have what?
If you have an Amazon store, you can't promote it.
As in, if you have something that you are selling.
I think that's what he's saying. I think East St. Louis, please feel free to elaborate on your question because I
No.
believe, or maybe that's what he's saying. I'm not sure.
Okay, no. I think, okay, guys, you have to make sure that you read everything like in the policies and guidelines the way they are, because a lot of times these things are so broad that it can get you confused. However, the thing is, you can promote your stuff like brand names, the prices, what it does, whatever, the only thing is, do not ask for subs or whatever. And the other thing is, like, likes, sharing, subs, whatever, and you'll win this, you'll get that. The other thing is, if your store is leading people away from YouTube's, like to clickbait them into going to another site out of YouTube, that is something that is also flagged as spam, because this is a platform where people make money, and the money that people are making is a revenue that YouTube is also creating for themselves. That's why this your content is on here as, say, a partner. If you are in the YouTube partner program,
Mm-hmm.
therefore clicking out. So I cannot say it's either right or wrong, but I can say, um, making your audience or channeling your audience away from YouTube itself. Your channel is not the issue here. It's the greater YouTube platform that is losing audience, losing viewers, and also revenue if they click out. So that's the bottom line about that. So
Okay.
whatever you do on your Amazon store, that will depend on whether it's right or wrong. Promoting was never wrong. People promote, and they would even put up their what's that, their revenue websites, the PayPal's and everything. Um, and their channels are still fine. However, promoting is not wrong, and we've been talking about this. Putting your PayPal and stuff in your description, putting your what Cash App in your videos, whatever the case may be. For that being there, it's very hard to actually distinguish whether it's for a money making scam, or is it for fundraising purposes, because there are a lot of fundraisers that run on YouTube that are quite legitimate and
Mm-hmm.
that are allowed. But for everyone, if you put all these 2 billion channels, if you put all these 2 billion channels together, how are you going to review and say whether uh, 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 this cause is just or this cause is not just for putting up that fundraising means? means of income.
Hmm.
I
Good
hope I
point.
answered that question because I'm
Yeah.
just trying to answer from the policies, and the policies are basically all we have to go by. And also, guys, Google Support Help is there to answer your questions. And if you need more clarity and uh, more straightforward answers, you can probably go to Google Support Help with your questions. But I hope I've answered that correctly.
Makes sense to me. Did you have more to elaborate on with your presentation in regards to the live stream etiquette, Letu?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
basically the other part of live stream etiquette. Um, okay, we did get into the fact that the consequences might be flagging and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that you can appeal whatever report somebody has uh, put on you. However, that process takes a very, very long time for you to get some kind of feedback. So I would just rather you don't go there. And if there is any copyright content that you feel like you want to use, there's a very gray area that you can go into that is called the fair use. And the fair use basically allows you to take copyright content. This is actually in legislation, and it is lawful for you to take copyright content and use it in your videos. However, only a court of law, not even YouTube, can decide um, when you put up your fair use disclaimer at the start or inside or at the end of your videos. um, Only a court of law can decide whether this fair use was used correctly or incorrectly. And basically you are not, it's very, you should be very careful, anybody should be very careful to say you are not allowed to use the whole content. Let's say I'm trying to do a review, a movie review, and I'm using a movie. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of my taking the whole 1 hour and 30 minutes and putting it into my live, I will probably take 30, let's say 15 minutes of different scenes merged together, putting it in, not even in my live, it can be anything, it can be a video, you know. And I think sorry, these two things are the same thing, live streams and videos, because your live at the end of the day indexed into a video. So we'll just talk about content. Um, so what? So it's not for you as the content creator to decide, or the copyright owner to decide, or YouTube to decide whether you are supposed to use 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours thereof, because the only one who can decide is the court of law once, if this issue is really that big. And what they basically will look at is, what were you planning to achieve by using this copyright content? Was it for commercial means or was it for education? Usually it will be less likely correct, or or they will probably perceive it as you using it for the wrong purposes if you are using it for commercial gain. However, if you are using it for educational purposes, it is less likely to be wrong. The other thing they will be looking at is the nature of the copyright, you know and also how much of the original you have used, and will your video serve as a substitute to the original. Like we said, if we're doing a review, are you gonna replace the movie? If we're doing a review of the movie, are you gonna replace the original movie by doing this review and like rewriting the script, and now it changes into something absolutely it was not, at the beginning.
Mm.
So we can, as content creators, use the fair use terminology and make disclaimers and stuff, and add it into our videos just to make sure that you have given the rightful and lawful um, procedures, some thought, so that when your video is being viewed by whoever, it is not flagged as dangerous.
Hmm. Now let me see here. It looks like GoDonnie Tom added a comment saying no avenue shopping. They consider that quick beat clickbait. Clicking fading. There's not tolerated under the YouTube guidelines. Clickbait is considered illegal for any company to clickbait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we agree on that, Tony. I forget her name who was talking about her Amazon store. And what I basically said was whatever you do, how you promote your whether it's your the things you make, the things you sell, whatever, how you do that is going to affect whether you are now targeting stuff like spam and violations. So how they do it, and that's what I told her. Do not put anything in your videos, in your descriptions, and basically in your content that's going to make people click out of YouTube. And I think that's what we're talking about with the clickbait. And they have made clickbait also general because it started with them saying, okay, your thumbnail is not actually what it says it is, it's just attracting clicks. So people will
Right.
click on it for what they see at that stage, but it will not be, once they're watching the content, it will not be what they thought it might be or what they expected it to be. And therefore,
Mhm.
this clickbait terminology came to the fore. But clickbait in itself is not a violation. If you look at it, okay, if you look at it in terms of, I think your context, Johnny, was the buy and sell thing, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at it from a misleading metadata or thumbnail point of view, you are not supposed to place excessive tags in your video, right?
Mhm.
And a thumbnail with a picture of a popular celebrity that has nothing to do with the content. You see how narrow that becomes. It becomes so narrow now that we are talking about excess of tags and thumbnails. However, when you talk about clickbait, it can be anything that attracts the user to that video. And so therefore I told her it depends what you are doing. And if you read into the YouTube help, that where they have uploaded all the policies and guidelines as to why they do certain stuff the way they do, it will become a little more clearer to you. It will become a little more clearer to you because some of these things that they put in there, some of us have been attempting to do it, or we've done it out of ignorance, and then you read stuff like this, and it becomes more clear to you. Okay, it becomes really clear, but sometimes it's just after the fact. So that's why we are bringing these kind of sessions so that we can have these discussions and take these things out there into the content creators lab. And thank you so much for your information as well, Go Donnie. I was hoping we could talk some more because I was really learning so much from you because you know you see it from different angles as well, and you bring in so much more um, flesh to the problem. So thank you, Go Donnie, for chatting with me.
Yes, thank you, Godani. And have a great day. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for your contribution to the discussion. And welcome in Just Basic. I'm
No,
not
just
sure what the greeting is. It looks like some letters. I can't make out what they're saying, but welcome.
oh, me either. Me neither.
And
There was something.
hi,
Oh, Picky
Picky
Dell.
Dale. Hi, welcome to the discussion this morning. Well, it's morning, it's afternoon now.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, welcome,
Thanks so
welcome.
much, Pickadell, for coming in. How are you? What's your Saturday like, Pickadell? So nice to see you in the house. You are always a very faithful and loyal supporter. I
Always,
appreciate to see you
always positive and upbeat as well.
here. I like that. Thank you so much for being here. That really. puts a smile on my face and makes the life worthwhile.
Now, Latu, what was that link that you shared with us?
Let me just it's something. Let me click on the link so so I can also see what I just did. Okay, fine. What I did was I just narrowed it down to where it says spam, deceptive practices, and scams policy.
Okay. So
Yes, yes, and
definitely some good information for us to go back and review.
yes, yes, and those are the ones that we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes. Um, yes, like do not exchange goods and prizes and gifts and stuff for clicks and subscriptions and views. Do not do that. And scams, they outline what scams are. The pyramid schemes and stuff are not allowed either on your lives or your videos. The misleading metadata or thumbnails is basically just metadata is the text, it's whatever wording you use that's tied into your video, and it becomes part of your video in terms of when people are searching for certain content. So title, thumbnails, description, tags, none of that should be used to trick the users. None of that should be used to trick the users into believing that the content is something that it's not. And we have been talking about clickbait and stuff, and that clickbait does not just apply to you thinking you're clicking on somebody fishing, but then you're just watching water or a river stream without any fishing happening, stuff like that. And it also goes into serious stuff such as voter suppression and incentivization spam is not as big as it sounds. It's basically just the sub for sub, and
Right.
offering, yeah, offering subscriptions to another creator's channel solely in exchange for them subscribing to your channel. When you do this in a pretty obvious light, and either way, whether it's obvious or not, there are some chance of it being picked up by the algorithm, as they all say. And then there's comment spams, especially with the harassment policy being updated. So there's comment spam as well, and that one will be closely looked at in the new year. So uh, there is repetitive comments, and like we said, the live stream. Um, and why I said that live stream abuse might tie in with somebody else's content is because that guideline says that live streams intended to stream content that belongs to somebody else and are corrected um, following repeated warnings of possible abuse. Live streams should be actively monitored by the channel owner, and any potential issues should be corrected in a timely manner. Why I said that is that the fact that there is these tools like fair use and stuff that is for copyright owners means that somebody who does not own who can copyright their content also has the right, and it has been done. Videos have been removed under this policy, guys, because people put up other people's videos without getting consent for it first, and also because they do not put the link as to where they found this information in the description, and they do not acknowledge the owners of this information. So if you report that, that becomes also something that will be taken out, and that was just a very simple example of how not to, because nobody is talking for the people. Nobody is talking for the people who are creating content, but they never got their content copyrighted, you know.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. That makes an absolute lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And the so I yes, the other information that I got prior to this weekend was some information from Pumping It Easy when she also did some research for the panel we were going to do tonight. Um, she was looking into some monetization violations, and one of the things she brought to my attention that some of the monetized live streamers might also want to consider is that there is a direct violation that pertains to AdSense violations, and if you click on your own ads, that is a violation, and you might risk losing your AdSense registration. I don't know for what period of time, and they also did not say, but there is also things like encouraging others to click on your ads, clicking on your own ads, and deceptive implementations for clicks.
Oh, wow.
So, mhm.
Wow. So an example of that would be what? Let's say
the
someone's monetized, they have ads running, and they decide to click on one of the ads running on their own video. How does that play out?
Basically what that the thing with clicking on your own ads is
You're not supposed
um
to.
you're not supposed to do that. But the question I had was, if if you check out one of your videos, are you supposed to skip your ads? Because you watching that ad for a certain amount of time is going to register as an ad being watched, and the revenue has to be directed to you for that ad being watched. So uh I was wondering, do you skip your own ad? What do you do?
Right. Did you find out an answer to that? Because that's a very good question.
Let me check it out quickly, and then we can see what Pickadell said about that. I just have a problem.
Pickadell says they don't want us doing they don't want us doing anything crazy. I agree. And some of these things are very, I don't know, in my opinion, they're almost over exaggerated, that stuff you wouldn't even think twice about it being wrong or unethical, so to speak, but you could kind of probably mistakenly do it, but it could land
Yes,
you in hot water.
I definitely think so too. And I hope I can find something on that, because I was reading through it and I said, this is unbelievable, because the way they have the ads now is not like you can click on them. Okay, I understand that the banner ads and the overlay ads, you can click on them and it will take you to whatever site is being advertised, or whatever shop or service, or so
Mhm.
I know that some of the ads can be clicked on. That I know for sure. So uh, for the time being, if you are somebody who enable those kind of ads, because you can enable a range of ads, there are about four or more of them. It's not only the ones that start from the beginning of the video. However, if you do click on them, that does register as somebody watching. Um, and the one about encouraging others to click your or to let your ads run, that I understand. But the deceptive implementation for clicks, okay. I think I think it just to each his own. Anybody probably just has to figure it out for themselves how you can deceitfully um, get people to click your ads. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. That was just so interesting to me that they even had the violations on AdSense as well.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
To me too.
Very interesting. Well, this is definitely good dialogue. Definitely good dialogue, definitely information that is helpful and that we can take and apply and take into consideration each time we're getting ready to add an uploaded video, or think about before we get ready to hit that go live button, so that we can make sure that we're being mindful of what to stay away from and what to do, that can enhance our successes. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's okay. East St. Louis. Oh, 62203. We did answer your question. I hope you are responding with regard to what we said about you having asked that question. It was a really, really good question. And I did put the link in there where we got the information from. It's just up top. And Go Donny also was talking about whether when you say uh, promoting an Amazon store, are you engaging in clickbait and just putting information in there that might not be what is intended or what was supposed to be intended with the video. So why I'm asking that question is we should like rather ask ourselves questions while we are planning our content, and then when we ask these questions it will easily come to a yes or a no, instead of just doing it and saying, okay, let me see how this goes. Because what he did because what he did just did really bring up very important topics that was covered um, in the policies. So two things that stood out was basically do not drive people away from YouTube. Uh, and when we say secondary sites, we are not talking about things like another video, another content creator, whatever. That doesn't matter. They don't want people out of this platform onto another platform. That was the
Mhm.
first thing. That was not being deceptive with your I bet your promotions and stuff, because you are not supposed to say, I give you this if you give me that, with regard to likes, subscriptions, and views. And also, what was the last thing? Wait. I'm supposed to be writing things down because I'm also learning a lot out of this experience. But okay, I think it'll come back to me. But you did say yes. You did say yes. So yeah, the last thing was I said it depends how you promote anything. It just depends what you say and do in that video. And it also goes back to metadata. Look closely at your tags, your descriptions, your title, and your thumbnails. So metadata is you think it's something that does not play an important part, and your video is the most important of it all, and that is not the case. Metadata goes directly to the servers and computers, and the algorithm, the whole tech thing that they make it seem like it's this giant brain. So metadata, that's why they give it this different name. It does become part of your video, and I would say it categorizes your video um, at this stage into safe and unsafe or gray area and things like that. So you would want to look at things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I thank you, Letu, for all of that information. It was definitely very helpful and very valuable information that you shared with us. So I appreciate you bringing forth all of that information and all the effort you put into researching the material, even providing the link for us to go and look at it for future reference. That's great.
I sure hope so, Pandy. But before we call it a night, I was based on the suggestions you gave me, I was going to go through the new harassment updates.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to touch on those as well. And then, really quickly, just before we move into that, I just wanted to reiterate because I feel like you touched on a lot of the mm, the copyrighted and as far as the technical side of the etiquette. And I just wanted to touch on some of the like more practical, common sense live stream etiquette because it seems like
Hmm.
here lately when we've been off in these chats, we've seen people getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more nasty towards one another, and just reiterating why we're all here and how we can all be here and be respectful towards one another. You know, if people have moderators and things, the moderators are there because there's an established flow so that people's chats can flow accordingly and also keep the spam down and the trolls out. So you want to make sure you're being mindful and just being respectful. If moderators are asking you to do a certain thing or to refrain from doing certain things, please just listen to them. Please don't argue with them. That's not a good look. for yourself, for that content creator that's hosting the live stream, or for the others that are in the chat. It makes everyone overall uncomfortable. You don't want to enter into people's streams begging for support when you haven't even spoke to the host. Sometimes I'll be in a live and people will just in the chat shout me out, just literally begging right off the bat. That's never a good look, guys. So just keep
Hmm.
things like that, just keeping it simple, being respectful of each other in the chats, and just making sure you're doing things the right way, actually checking people out, watching videos in full, leaving those genuine comments, and then subscribing. I feel like if we just keep it at the basics, we'll all get ahead and we'll be doing it the right way. And we won't have to worry so much about whether or not we're in, good standing as far as the policies are concerned. So that was my tidbit to piggyback off of what you were just sharing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that is very thoughtful of you, because I hope people listen to that, because it would make modding for live streams much easier if people just adhere to that kind of advice. And also, at the end of the day, guys, you do not want to be putting time out for a live stream. It does not feel good. So what's the harm in just going with the rules? Just having fun and making sure you don't step on anybody's toes. Pandy, if you're done, I would like to get back to Picky Down with that question.
Yes, absolutely. I was just going to say Piccadilly has a question there. I think it's an
Hmm.
excellent question too, so definitely go for it.
So, if a content creator would say, we have a gift card, but you have to subscribe to my channel, like my video, and follow me on Instagram, is that wrong? Okay, let me just take you to the incentivization spam. And what they are saying is the following types of content are not allowed on YouTube, and this isn't the complete list. And I hate it when they say it's not the complete list, because there's more. So I cannot tell you if it's wrong or right, because they said it's not the complete list. But what I can tell you at this stage is that if that giveaway video includes the following: videos where the purpose is to encourage viewers to subscribe, um, even if you use terms that relate to sub for sub, and videos that offer likes for sale. So basically, it offers a like for sale in terms of, let's say, a giveaway, and a video that offers to give the channel, say, the 100th or the 1,000th subscriber without any other content, right? Okay, so the last one is not so important, but the other three is basically just ties in with sub for sub, encourage viewers to subscribe, and likes for sale. And obviously, pick it down, I do know you did not say that if you like my video you will get the gift card. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's their incentivization spam policy. And basically, they also said that's not the complete list. So there might be other things that we may be doing wrong when we are doing giveaways. However, the best way to do it, I would say, is basically to steer clear from the information and the things that you can say out loud on your lives, like, um, okay, if you subscribe and stuff, instead of saying that, say something like, if you like this content, if you like my videos, if you were inspired, if you want to just show your appreciation, basically, like and subscribe. That's it. That's what everybody does, and that's allowed. You may do your own promotions on your own channel. That's just basically how it goes on YouTube. There's no rule against that. You can look it up. Even the only rule is against sub for sub. They do not want you to mention or put down those words on any of the metadata, that if you do this you will get that. That's the basic violation. And that one is repeated in so many of the policies and stuff, that it overflows into other areas as well. So basically, change your wording. Make sure that you say a lot by not saying as much. Steer clear from things like, you know if you do this, if you like, if you whatever, steer clear from stuff like that, and you will not be in the gray areas.
Now, let me ask you a question about that, too. Now, if, for example, myself included, I see a lot of people that, like, say, for example, I'll use myself as an example. I'm approaching my 1K milestone and I want to do a celebration of sorts. And the celebration is in the form of a subscriber appreciation. And I want to gift um, financial money, say, like in the form of a gift card or a cash app. Is that against the policy? Do you know? Latu, did we lose you? Okay, guys, it looks like, excuse me, we may have lost Latu. I'm sure he'll jump back on in a moment. And I don't know if any one of you all have had that same question, but that has been a question of mine. Just wanting to make sure that, I was following the guidelines and keeping myself within the policies and the guidelines so that I'm not harming myself. You know what I mean? And Letu does do a lot of research on these matters, so he's a great person to go to ask. Not that we need to depend on him, because I also do a lot of reading and research so that I can make sure that I'm abreast to everything that I need to know as far as how to navigate on this platform successfully. But since we're talking about it, I have been just wondering about it because I am getting close. I do believe in subscriber appreciation. I think it's a great way to reward the people who have taken the time out to actually subscribe to your channel. They're supporting your content, they're checking you out, they're watching you, they're running your playlists, they're tuning into your videos as soon as you upload them, things of that nature. I mean, that actually takes time. There's 1,001 other channels that people could be visiting so for the fact that they're taking the time out to support you and everything, I think that once you reach that milestone, it's sort of like a way that you can celebrate with them and as a way of giving back. Oh, it looks like Latu is back. Let me bring him back. Hey, Latu. We
Hello,
had lost you for a moment there.
I'm so sorry. I hate it when that happens.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't know if you heard my question.
What was no, I did not.
Okay, I was just asking, since we were along those lines of what Pickydale was asking about the gift card. I also had a question, and I was using myself as an example, being someone that's approaching their 1K, and I've seen others do it. If I wanted to do like a subscriber appreciation and gift someone, say, like a cash app in the form of 25, 50, 100, whatever the case may be, is that considered to be against the YouTube policies and guidelines, or is that acceptable? Because you're, in sense, showing subscriber appreciation for them, helping get you to your next milestone.
Mm-hmm. But I would say no because that was being done after the fact.
Okay.
It does not encourage anybody to subscribe,
Right.
and there are no likes for sale at all. The whole sub for sub rules. You are basically not incentive. Okay, let me not even say that. But you are not making any kind of monetary promises or anything, rewards and giveaways and stuff. Like I said, uh, is basically something that you and your fellow supporters, can do. Um, the only thing that you have to do, like what Pikidal said, was just steer away from whatever comes in. Just before the fact, like I don't know if you guys heard me when I said, uh, if you've seen my videos from the last 2 weeks, you'd know that tonight's giveaway is going to be based on whatever happened in that video, whatever. So you're not even worried about the likes or the subscriptions if people go to their videos because you're not allowed to say it. So basically, you just be as creative as possible, do whatever it takes, to make sure that this giveaway is free of whatever spam and is not mistaken for incentivization and stuff. So it just
Hmm.
goes it just basically just goes hand in hand with the wording. And like I said, if you had promised anybody anything before you uh, d- decided to do the was it the cash app or the whatever,
Hmm.
um,
Like a
if you
gift
prom-
card or whatever.
yes, if you promise anybody anything, it would fall right into incentivization because I'm getting something out because I did subscribe and like. I'm getting something out of it, and you're giving something away. So that's the selling part. So basically, um, do not for one, do not kind of like if you really take it that serious, do not promote it or put it out there as let's do this and come over and I'll give you that. So that's why I was asking because we are wanting to do the same thing. And I wouldn't say you guys should stop doing that. I wouldn't say you guys should stop doing that because we are not people who do the sub for sub thing. We are people who work extremely hard for our channels to be somewhere and to be somewhere great. And for you not to show appreciation because of something like that, it does not make sense at all. As long as you just stay within those guidelines. And they did say things like this does not include the full list and stuff, so it can change at any time. So it just depends on how safe you are with what you say.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes
I
sense. That
also
definitely gives me clarification. And I know I've seen others do it, and it's basically a form of subscriber appreciation. It's not like, oh, well, if you subscribe to me, I'll do this. You know?
hmm that's why my bottom line was just you did not say beforehand that if you do this at my giveaway, you are just saying thanks for helping me reach 1K. Finished. Thanks. That's it. And I'm giving this and that away. We will play a game just to ascertain who will get the money or the gift or um, a cookie. We will
Right,
play a game certain who gets it. Nobody is getting it for 10 likes. Nobody is getting it for, there is a thing where one person can sub to your channel with 4 or 5 different accounts. Nobody is getting it for that reason. And that is the core of sub for sub.
right. That makes sense. Now,
Oh, and
getting into, oh, go
the
ahead,
other thing
Letu.
about the other thing about Instagram and social media is um again, what is their policies and guidelines based on things like that? I don't think they have any policies and guidelines related to anything like that. So for you to say check out my Instagram channel, you have a social media page. It is allowed to have a social media presence and bring that social media presence over to YouTube because that's what it is. That that's what they encourage actually. That is what they encourage because you want to give them some kind of exposure as a platform, not only your channel. You bring traffic to YouTube from your social media, and you should have some kind of a presence where you have email, you have social media on your About Me page and stuff. So that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And for the things you are not allowed to do on YouTube, you take it out to that social media platform and you go do you go do that there. You do that there because that's not Gmail and that is not YouTube. I mean, that's not Google.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, I'm learning so much with each day. Each day that I come on, and I appreciate the emails that YouTube send out from the Creator Studio. They're also informative. And then when we have an opportunity to come together like this and actually discuss and dialogue and ask questions of one another, I learned so much. So I'm grateful and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys too for coming in and for talking with us and just giving us this opportunity to share as much knowledge as we possibly can. And it's just a way for us to stay safe to do it the
Mm-hmm.
right way, to keep going. Don't lose your motivation, because one thing I've noticed is when you don't know something about content and you learn the hard way, it does demotivate you, because it takes so much more effort to start again or to re-upload another video, or if in case you got a claim or got a strike or whatever just happened. So thank you to Picky Dell. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you want to touch on the updated harassment policy that just came out?
Oh yeah, I did, because I thought I could just do it right here because I did not do an update on this over at my channel. But basically, what we should take very seriously is the harassment policy, which I think is one of the best policies yet, because YouTube has been used for a lot of bullying and, like it says, a lot of harassment, and people have actually started making money off that. However, I think that might be decreasing soon, because all of these things that have been going on in YouTube, it is actually um I forgot to get a link for that one, but guys, I will do so after I run through this. And all of these things that they mentioned is actually, it has actually been happening, and this is a good one, because they said that videos that are explicitly threatening anyone and encouraging harassment or reveal your confidential information and includes veiled or implied threats. So, Charmaine, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you,
And content,
Charmaine, for hanging in here with us as well.
yes, of course, and content that is stimulating violence is the stuff that they classify as harassment. And what they are working on at this current moment is just formulating an hate speech policy framework, and this framework will include all phrases and stuff that they will be looking at as harmful and basically categorized as harassment. And the consequences for this behavior would most definitely be eliminating your ability to make money on YouTube. So if you thought that you can be monetized and be part of the YouTube partnership program, you can be suspended from this if anything like this happens, because they only want people who are basically promoting and encouraging, positive behavior, no harassment, and of course, there will always be a removal of content, because they have already started with removing content. And I thought it was only the three types of content that they considered borderline content, which is stuff like extremism, there was misinformation, and there was also conspiracy theories. But now harassment is now included in that, and it will just cause for immediate removal, guys. And they did say nothing about appeal in there, but we'll see. And strikes and terminations is one of them, as well as the consequences for uploading things like violence, stimulating violence,
Mm-hmm.
and threats, whether they are direct or implied, also revealing somebody else's confidential information. I think that's what they do with the doxing, right? I heard about doxing before, and I was like, I cannot believe people are getting away with it.
Oh my God,
And
yeah, it's pretty prevalent in certain sectors
yeah,
of YouTube. It's like you have certain content creators, and it's almost like a soap opera or
mm-hmm,
reality
mm-hmm,
TV where they're like going against each other. It's very competitive, very cutthroat. And if they feel like one has one up the other, you will see doxing, you will see personal phone numbers, addresses, workplace locations, in places of employment being called. I have seen it, and it's just so scary. And I
mm-hmm,
often wonder, I'm like, well, how do these channels continue to exist if there's all these policies in place that clearly state it's not allowed and it's absolutely wrong?
mm-hmm.
I just don't get involved with it. I try to steer my distance away from it, but I definitely know that it's out there, and I just wondered how it was going to shift or how we would see things differently with the, you know, updated policies that have just came out. I'm wondering if we're going to see less of it.
And I hope we will see some people being made an example of.
Yeah,
because this is all negative. It's not even me trying to wish somebody else bad. I'm not
right,
wishing anybody bad, but I'm wishing that stuff like this stops because I don't see any good coming out of it. And if it is entertainment, I
right,
feel I feel like we cannot even at this stage YouTube cannot even determine whether somebody having an account is 13 years and older, and we are
right.
having channels like this pumping all of this stuff into society, right? So good
It's
riddance.
very interesting, right?
Yep, and they cannot monetize their channels at all if any of this stuff is and it sounds very serious at this stage, but I hope we can see um how do I put this, an instance where something like this just shows us how serious, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because and that's the thing too. It's like you say it's entertainment or it's for entertainment purposes only. However, it crosses over into a person's reality and it's involving their place of residence or their place of employment. Isn't that going outside of the entertainment? Isn't that actively impacting their safety? It's very scary. It's very alarming. So I have to agree with what Charmaine said about the enforcement of the policy. I mean, it's getting a bit out of hand.
Yep,
Getting a
it
bit
was
out of
getting,
hand.
and I think Charmaine disrespectful is an understatement. It was even worse than disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. I'm just thankful to God that it's not me, but I feel bad for the people that it is. I
And
feel bad.
we should definitely be bringing this information um, to their awareness because they're the ones coming up and tightening up these guidelines and policies and stuff. So, hi, JM Glino. Hi. Thanks for being
Hi,
in the
JM
house.
Galeno. Welcome and thanks for joining.
So just to kind of like close that topic, they did say that we have the means to report. Comments will be reviewed, and also I don't know if I understood this correctly, but content creators can review comments as well. I don't know if that's everything or if it's just the likely spam part. But okay, comments will be reviewed once reported and stuff. So again, guys, the reporting thing, it is something you can use not maliciously and not facetiously to take down somebody's content and channel for no good reason. I'm saying if it falls under the harassment stuff, because basically don't think if you flag it or whatever, it will just go away. It's stuff that is being reviewed, and that's what it says. It will be reviewed, and that person on the other end can also appeal it. So you do not want to find yourself on the the bad end of the whole situation. So if
Right.
it becomes harassment and abuse and bullying, stuff like that, and it's crazy. It is crazy if you find yourself in the middle of that. You do have the tools you do have the tools to fight this.
Good to know. Hi, Adriel Pasquale. Welcome to the live stream and thanks for joining us. Well, that was pretty good information there, guys. If the two, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Oh no, not much at all. I've been, trying to be brave through this headache. I don't know how you can have a headache for the whole entire day. Uh, I did take something for it, but okay, I'll probably just lie down or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But thank you,
yeah.
Andy. Thank you.
Probably just need to get some rest too. I think that this was
Mhm.
a very good session. I feel like we got a lot of information out there that we can all use in our platforms. I am grateful to those of you who are in the chat coming up with your questions and sharing your input and giving us feedback on what the topics were for today. I'm very grateful for that. I think that this was a very productive live stream. Again, like I said, Commentary with Letu and I will be planning to host a different topic each week, and we'll alternate between his channel and mine. So last week was his channel, this week was mine, and next week we'll be back to Commentary with Latu's channel. Now, Commentary, do you think that Saturday was a good day? The only
What do you
thing is,
mean?
it kind of for us because initially we had it scheduled for a weekday. Today we moved it to a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think
Sham,
works better?
So much.
Or we just kind of
Thank
play it by
you.
ear?
uh, I think the weekends, they do tend to go a bit slower and there's not much to do and stuff. So we can play it by ear and check out what every week is like. I am not very tight with all that. So I am flexible. I will check it out. I don't know at this stage really. So I think
Okay.
it, yeah, I think it depends on you as well from this moment because I had a nice session tonight. I'm glad we did it on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Miss Esther. Thank you, Picky Dell.
Hey,
A
Miss
big
B
shout out
Town
to
Hester.
Picky.
Okay, well, we'll
And
definitely play it by ear, and we'll always post a scheduled notification. So for those of you that are subscribed to us, will definitely be notified in advance of when
mm-hmm.
it'll come out. So I agree. I agree. This was very good and very informative, and hope you guys enjoyed it and were able to get some information out of the discussion that'll be useful to you in your platform going forward in the future. And I don't really have anything more to add. Anything more from you, the two?
Oh no, I've said a bunch.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys so much for coming. I guess I'll go ahead and bring it to a close, and we will see you all around the YouTube streets. We've been on
Bye,
for a little
guys.
over an hour.
Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us. Piggy Dale, Charmaine, you guys are awesome. Miss Beaton Hester, we'll be seeing you around sooner than later. And thanks for popping in, even though we are closing. But I hope you can find the replay of this if you feel like it. And again, thanks, Piggy Dale, Charmaine, for staying with us today. And you guys are beautiful. And for the others that we may not be able to see who are lurking somewhere, a big shout out and thank you to you guys too. Goodbye, guys. I'll be calling it a night. Thank you, Bandy. Thank you with all my heart.
You're
Um,
welcome, the two, and thank you for being available. I appreciate your perspective always.
okay.
All right, guys, I'm going to bring it to a close. Thank you all again for coming. Have a good day.